the recording. I don't know, but
No, one point on tonight.
yeah, Ron is asking for it, so I hope that it's being utilized well. Um, Stamach Dalet Amud Beis, about 25 lines down, and it's up to Ella Amibo Miat Bebibahu. So just to what's the word? Zoom out a second. If we look at the psukim on the screen, so what's been happening is for a long time, the whole daf already. We're going on the psukim in Parshas Mishpatim, this week's parsha, and we're trying to figure out the din about kefil, that the mission is going on kefil, that would behave, that when the gun steals, so and he's caught, so he pays double. And if he had stolen and slaughtered it or sold it, then he pay an ox and a sheep. So then he's going to pay 5 times. Sure. And what the Gemara has been discussing is the psukim that we know that about. The Gemara also the main thing the Gemara got into the subject was Tointan is Ganav, that besides the Ganav, actual Ganav, but also Tointan is Ganav, somebody had a Pikadon. The Gemara says also in Aveda that he swore that he didn't have it, and then he admitted that he did and he lied. So he pays also kefil. That's a Tointan is Ganav, and he pays kefil. And the Gemara is trying to figure out the psukim to say those dinim about a Tointan is Ganav, and everybody agreed, just on the screen, everybody agreed the pasuk Zion, and then it says Shalem Shnaim in the next pasuk. So everybody agrees on the Drash level again. I don't think it's pasuk Pshat, but on the Drash level, everybody agrees that pasuk Zion and the first are talking about Tointan is Ganav. And the words of Lo Yimoseh Ganav means if the Ganav that he claimed to be doesn't exist and really was himself, and he had already sworn, so then he pays kefil. That's Tointan is Ganav. And the Gemara was asking about the pasuk before, pasuk Vav, that also says and that was the big machlokus. If that's all talking about Tointan is Ganav, it's talking about a simple Ganav. And what we were working on for the past daf was if you hold that both of them are talking about Tointan is Ganav, Vav and Zayin, both of them are Tointan is Ganav. Where's the actual Ganav? It's talked about, and you can't say that it's going to be a kavah homer because that would have only gotten you with a shvur. And the truth is that the actual Ganav pays kefil even without a shvur. Just the fact that he's stolen, he's caught, he pays kefil. And the Gemara found pasuk Gimel. That's what's been happening. Pasuk Gimel. And really, as Rashi said, the Gemara could have just said the pasuk says that there's kefil over there also. It says something about a ganav that the object is found in his rishus, so he pays kefil, and that could have been a fresh pasuk. It's not a ganav. For our purposes, it could have been very small, very short, and saved the daf of Gemara. But Rashi says once the Gemara, it has to be in the pasuk. It brings ready the drashas also. Why do you have to have all of these particulars over here? Why is it so elaborate? So far, as far as the Gemara got so far, there was a price that said it's klal product klal to teach you that it applies to all kinds of objects. Now it does say, what does it say over here? If the geneva will be found in his hand, be an ox or a donkey or a sheep, and they're alive, in contrast to the pasuk before it spoke about Bava Kamma, but it's found in his hand, he didn't sell it, and it's alive, it wasn't shechted, then Shnaim Yishalem, he doesn't pay dollar, he pays kefil. But the Gemara makes out of this a long drasha, and after the whole Gemara worked it out, so far we're holding that as a klal, ufradu klal, and even though the two klalim are next to each other, you must say Simos are going to be the two klalim, the rest of them are going to be protim, geneva, shor, chamor, sech, hayim. You're allowed to do such a thing, you're allowed to make klal ufrat to klal, even though the two klalim are next to each other, and the rest of them are going to be protim. That's more or less how far as the Gemara goes. But then the Gemara wanted to know, what do you have all these protim for? What are you going to learn from them? And the Gemara dashed that also, but at last second, it didn't work out. The kasha was sell lamali. There'd be one extra pasuk. The word "sell" wouldn't have been accounted for if that would have been the drasha. And that's as far as we got yesterday. And now the Gemara is continuing. That this is going to be, that was the knockout kasha. Sell lamali. This kasha sell lamali said that the drasha doesn't work, and that's what we're holding now. So the Gemara is going to retract from everything except for the past daf. So if you weren't here yesterday, you could continue without having to learn. You have to learn it, but
You can sleep tonight.
last night. Okay. Ella,
Excuse me, weren't we at Hachi Kol Hani Prati Lamali?
did you use that earlier or later?
I don't know.
I'm up to the first one. I'm not sure we have the same edition, but the first one on the line is Masuya.
It's two different things.
Oh, it's a little higher. Okay, thank you. Okay, okay, I'm with you.
Okay, so now the Gemara changes everything we said. Even though the Brisa before said it was a klal product klal, and the Gemara, even that, the Gemara had to do surgery on to fit the way we're going to say the klal product klal. But now the Gemara changes it, and I don't know if it fits into the Brisa. Ella ribo miyat v'ribo. It's not going to be darshan in this formula called the klal product klal. It's going to be darshan in the formula that's called the ribo miyat v'ribo. As Rabbi Shmuel says, can turn to Rabbi Shmuel, b'mine, based upon him, ain't there klal product. Ella ribo miyat v'ribo. So he says, whenever you have two kolalim that are next to each other, like we said, he must say simotze to jump back and forth. That he must say simotze had two kolalim. It's not a klal product klal if you read it. It's a klal and then a lot of protein. And until now we said that that's also a valid klal product klal. But now Rabbi Shmuel says not. Rabbi Shmuel says when you have two kolalim that are next to each other, you don't darshan it as a klal product klal. You darshan it as a riboy and a miyut. And therefore we're going to go through the pasuk darshaning it as a riboy miyut, riboy. And that's again pasuk gimel we're looking at. And the Gemara continues. He's talking about different parts. He's talking about Bamayim. Rashi talks about it. It talks about the Shrosim Sheretz Hamayim. It says Kol Asher Bamayim, Kol Asher Lo Snapir B'Kaskes Bamayim. So there's Psukim over there where it has two klolim that doesn't have the protim in between. And he says when you have Bamayim, it's based upon him. It's not called the klal product. Ella ribo miyat v'ribo. The way darshan it is a ribo miyat v'ribo. How are you going to darshan that? When you have a ribo, you include many more things. Klal product klal, you only marbe things that are kain afrat, and ribo miyat ribo is marbe everything besides the most distant things, the most far fetched things. That those are going to be the ones that are excluded. Ribo akol. My Rabbi kol mili. First, you start off saying that everything is included. Yachi kalani prati lamali. What are the miyutim going to be used for? Chad lemute karka, b'chad lemute abadim, b'chad lemute shtar. So we have. So how does the pasuk go again? We have the pasuk of Shor, Chamor, and Se. We also have Geneva and Chayim. That's more also considered them pratim. So three of them, the middle three, Shor, Chamor, and Se, we're going to use to exclude Avadim, Karka, Avadim, and Shtaros, that there's no kefil on those things. If somebody steals Karka and he's caught, he doesn't pay kefil. Avadim is the same thing. Here the Gemara doesn't say Hushul Karkos. Here you have to have a special another pasuk to tell you that. And also Shtaros, that's not kufa moment, just a document, a deed, they have debt, a bill, a check. So these things are also not capable. If somebody steals a check, maybe we spoke about on Shabbos, we spoke about money, paper money nowadays, even coins nowadays is not really the value. So is that called gufa mammon or not? It's just representation of the money. So I don't know how they consider that. But that's a nice question. How much, if gufa mammon is the paper money of nowadays as it is, yes, considered gufa mammon, I don't know. But these three things, Shor, Chamor, and Seh, are going to exclude those three of Karka, Avadim, and Shtaros. And now you have two more left, Geneva and Chayim. What are you going to do with that? So the Gemara says, so now, Geneva and Chayim, what do you do with those two extra words? That's going to be used for the following drasha of Rav, Damar, Achie Lekeren, Kein Shaganav. It's a drash. It's not going to be a miyat. It's not going to be a miyat at all. It's going to be a new drash. And you put the two words together, Geneva and Chayim, and you say, Achie Geneva, that you should revive the Geneva. And which the Gemara is going to talk about later on today, that if he stole something and the price went down, so he has to revive it. He has to give it the same price that it was at the time of the theft. Even though the price went down, you might, or Kisha, the Gemara is going to talk about that it got worth less. We have to go through the Gemara. It's going to be today's Gemara. Did the case that it got worth less, it got weaker, the animal got thinner, lean, and it became worth less, or that the price went down. So Achie Keren Kein Shaganav revived the Keren to the way it was when he stole it. The kefil will be something else, but the Keren has to be revived to the price that it was. So that's two words, Geneva and Chayim, to teach you this drasha that if somebody stole and it nothing to do with the kefil anymore. On the contrary, it's not going on the kefil. So these two words of the drasha, Geneva and Chayim, these two words are going to use Achie the Geneva, that you should revive the Geneva if the price went down or it got leaner and it's worth less. So the Ganav has to pay the price that it was at the time of the theft. So we figured out what all these words would be usable for. He must say somebody says a ribu, that's mark for everything. Shor, Chamor, and Sel, Mamai, Tabadim, Kakosh, and Shoros, and Geneva and Chaim tell you that if the Ganav weakened the animal that he stole, he has to pay the price that it was at the time of the theft.
That's how you walk. The looking is down.
And this took a daft. The last time we did the toggling back and forth, it was the Mandama that says the whole question was if the pasuk over there is talking about Torn Tanas Ganav or Ganav, right? That's what we're holding over here. This old Russia was talking about this Imotze Ganav is talking about Ganav or Torn Tanas Ganav. And the kasha we just finished talking about for a whole daf was if you hold that it's talking about a Torn Tanas Ganav, then how do you know a Ganav Atzmo? And we said pasuk Gimel. As Rashi said, it could have said short pasuk Gimel, but it said all the drushes. And how the Gemara continues that discussion, that debate, and goes back and say that if you say that pasuk Vav is talking about a Ganav, then you don't need pasuk Gimel. So that's the next kasha that's on deck, and that's where the Gemara is going to go now. Well, the Mandam Machad Ganav, Ganav, the pasuk Vav is talking about a Ganav. Pasuk Zayin is talking about a Taintan Ganav. Lo Yimotzei Ganav, but the pasuk of Yimim Motzei Ganav is talking about a Ganav. The Ganav Asmo Nafkalei Yimim Motzei Ganav. That's what he says. One the pasuk Vav that says Yimim Motzei is talking about a Ganav. So you don't need this pasuk of pasuk Gimel of Himotzei Simotzei Haim Yimotzei Simotzei My Delishbe. Extra pasuk like the Gemara will always toggles back and forth. The answer is there's a drasha for that also. The boy Leila for the Rava Bara Eloi. You need this Rava Bara Eloi's drasha. Dam Rava Bara Eloi. My time at the Rav Dam Moed B'Knas V'Achach Bo Eidim Pater. Everybody knows Moed B'Knas Pater. That if there's things that are knas, it's not a real payment. It's a penalty that the Torah said. That usually the klal is that it's not the same amount of how much he damaged or stole. It's more or less. So then it's going to be knas, and the din is Moed B'Knas Pater. The Gemara is soon going to say how you know that. But here we're going a little bit advanced. Moed B'Knas Pater. If he comes on his own and admitted to Beis, he doesn't have to pay the knas. But here the case was that right after him, Edom came in also. If the Edom would have come first, then you don't need his Oda, the Shkoyach. He's Moed after the Edom came. So that's not considered Oda. But if he was Moed before the Edom came, but the Maisa Edom came afterwards, is that also going to be Potter? Is the point? What would you say?
Sure, because he was Moed.
Maybe he's Moed because he sees the Edom coming.
It's good luck. It's like it's on the train. And you see so many people, the minute they see an inspector, right? They run.
So what do you say?
Okay, but they make it, so they can't get the ticket. It's like,
but the question,
if you had $1 million in the train, the minute I see people running and doing it in the middle of the train, why then I say, there's an inspector. And they try to get away with it. Sometimes they get.
But you could say that the point is, Moed B'Knas Pater means that the Moed B'Knas is not enough to make him chayiv, that his hono does not enough to make him chayiv. That wouldn't make that his Pater. He doesn't get an excuse. It's not enough to make him chayiv, but if Edom come, we have Edom, we don't need you. Or is the Moed B'Knas, is it a ptor? Is it an exemption? If you got an exemption, does he have an exemption past the show then? Well, he does. He couldn't be chayiv then.
First, and that's okay.
So it's not so simple. But you must give it doesn't have to be so simple. It could be that Moed B'Knas means it's not enough to obligate. We can't make him pay on his own admittance. But if we don't need his own admittance, he doesn't get a ptor. Because he's Moed, he gets a ptor. It's not because he's a nice guy, so we'll give him a ptor. It's because we're not enough to be. We can't be mechayiv on his own admittance. But if we have Eid, then we don't need him, even if the admittance was first. That's going to be an issue. So here the Gemara uses this pasuk to say, Rav says Moed B'Knas V'Achach Bo Eidim is Pater. So Moshe is like Rav, that if he was Moed B'Knas, even if Edom came later on, he's still Pater. How do you know? He has this pasuk. T'chsiv Im Himotzei Si Motzei. That's a fancy drasha. Here it goes. Im Himotzei Si Motzei. Just going to look at these psukim alone. Oh, what did I do? I don't know what I did. I didn't mean that. Okay. So what do I need? Something like this. It's not listening. It's not listening. Okay. I don't know. Okay. So these words over here, Im Himotzei Si Motzei. There's a fancy drasha. Im Himotzei Si Motzei B'Dor Geneva. Im Himotzei Si Motzei. What does that mean? If it's found, it's found. Of course, the Pashut is that it's a double language, and it means how do they say in the English translation? If it was surely found, something like that, they say something like that. But the Drash is going to say, "Im himotzei, si motzei, im himotzei, be'edim, then timotzei b'dayanim." If it was found, how was it found? The Edim came. That's how it was found. So then the dayanim they execute the law. Then the dayanim take over. Edim, then the dayanim. But Prophet Mashiach Satzmo. But if he admitted himself, he made himself guilty, he didn't have Edim, so then there's no din tima. So then the person doesn't get involved, even though they have Edim, but it was found, the way that it was found by himself. It wasn't found by Edim. So he has a drasha. The question was, what do you do with the pasuk? The answer is, it tells you this din, if Moed B'Knas V'Achach Bo Eidim is patur. And the other mandama back, now we're tackling back. So the mandama that says that you would use the pasuk for a ganav, you just finish darshaning for the whole daf, that he must say, whether the was coming to tell you kefil by a ganav atzmo, so he doesn't have a source for this halacha. Well, the mandama tabai, but Tanatanas ganav, the high in the Motzi Simotzi Mapaklei Laganav Atzmo. So the question is, Mashiach Atzmo Minolan, which is a long way of asking, like the Idach Minolan, that if you don't hold it, it's extra pasuk, because you said it's not extra, you have to use it for a ganav. Both the Psukim Vav and Zayin are talking about Tontanas ganav. Pasuk Gimel is talking about a ganav Atzmo. So the pasuk Gimel is not extra to tell you this fancy drasha of Motzi Simotzi Beidim. So how do you know that Moed B'Chanas V'Yakach Bo'edim is Potter? The real answer is going to be in about 5 lines. It's going to say he argues, and he says Moed B'Chanas V'Yakach Bo'edim is Chayiv. But at this point, the Gemara takes it step by step. That's a pasuk we have also on the screen over here. Oh, what happened? I'm sorry. Where's that? Asher Ashiyun Elohim Yishalem. It says here about paying kefil, and it says all of these issues that the Bezdin was machayiv. The word Yashia means to obligate, to make liable. That the Bezdin, Elohim is Bezdin. The Bezdin said that it's chayiv. So, Prato Mashiach Zatzmo, this person tells us what the B'Knas is poter. He's only Yishalem Shnai. He only pays kefil when the Bezdin makes him chayiv. But if he himself is the one who came to say that he owes, he's poter. So you see, Mod B'Knas is poter. But everybody can ask, but you don't see Mod B'Knas Yachach Bo'edim. You don't see that he can't be chayiv on his own admittance. You don't see if Eben Eben came later on. They won't take that in a second. But so far. What I do wrong over here? Okay. So the Gemara says Asher shows us that Mod B'Knas is poter. But the Gemara said, but the other one also doesn't have to have Yimasei Simasei then. Well, Madam B'Chad B'Gnav B'Chad B'Tarn Tanas Ganav Ta'asilei Mi Yimasei Simasei from Mashiach Satzmo Hay Asher Shin Ma'Dash. Very, very long way of asking the kasha that the other mandama doesn't need this pasuk because he learns out of Yimasei Simasei. We just finished saying. So how does he? What does he do with the pasuk of Asher Shin Elohim? Amalach Homi Boile for regular Mod B'Knas. Homi Boile Mod B'Knas the potter. But we're talking about Mod B'Knas V'Yakach Bo'edim. U'Ma'adam Tavayu B'Toyin Tanis Ganav because of Mod B'Knas V'Yakach Bo'edim Chayiv. So it took a couple of extra lines to say that, but it comes out. The answer is, if you look at the pasuk again, if you need it for both these pasuk I'm talking about Toyin Tanis Ganav, pasuk Vav and Zayin, pasuk Gimel is talking about a Ganav. So there's no extra pasuk to darshan Yimasei Simasei about what B'Knas V'Yakach Bo'edim. He holds what B'Knas V'Yakach Bo'edim is really chayiv. But if you hold that pasuk Vav is talking about a ganav, and pasuk Gimel is not necessary for a ganav, then it's going to tell you the fancy drasha that what B'Knas V'Yakach Bo'edim is. So it comes out of machlokes. This is the first machlokes. I think that everything else was just drashas. Where you learn it out from so far, there was no actual nafkamina between the two mandiyamim. But this is the first mandiyam machlokes. I think maybe it's the last one also. That's going to be enough nafkamina between the two drashas about Mod B'Knas V'Yakach Bo'edim is poter. If you hold that this pasuk Vav is talking about a ganav, so then you don't have this fancy drasha. I'm saying then you have this drasha. It's extra pasuk. Pasuk Gimel is extra, so you learn out that Mod B'Knas V'Yakach Bo'edim is poter. But if you say that both pasukim Vav and Zayin are talking about Tontan is ganav, so pasuk Gimel is necessary for a ganav, and you don't have this fancy drasha to tell you Mod B'Knas V'Yakach Bo'edim is poter. Mod B'Knas V'Yakach Bo'edim will really be chayiv. Second wide line. Ulmadam v'chad b'ganav v'chad b'torin tanis ganav. The nafle ganav mehasam bishlam emi matzei sim matzei v'cheder rabba b'ma'iloi. Avol kol lani prati lamali. We just answered one kasha so far. We asked the kasha, what do you have to have the whole pasuk for? The pasuk Gimel, we said, is not necessary. If you hold the pasuk Vav is talking about a ganav, you don't need pasuk Gimel. And the Gemara just answered so far, he must say sim matzei. But you have a lot of other words there that are not accounted for. Hageneva, Mishor, Chamor, Seh, Chayim, all this. You don't need. Can even Chaim you could maybe still use, as we said before, but you don't have to din of kefil. You don't have to have the psukim about shor, hamor, and say. You don't need them because the kefil you're not learning kefil from here. Kefil you know already from pasuk vav. You must say you told me the fancy drush about the but you didn't account for these other 3 psukim of shor, hamor, and say. And more answers, the Tana Devei Rabbi Shmuel. The Tana Devei Rabbi Shmuel called Pasha Shenembo V'Nishnis Lo Nishnis Elo Darshinas Chadish Ba. So this is a real big leniency or something in drushes that if you have a pasuk that has one chiddush, so then you're allowed to even say a long pasuk. You can say it again. You can repeat a lot of things, even though the whole repetition is not necessary. If it's necessary for one drasha, then you're allowed to say the whole pasuk over again.
The Koraya from Chumash Dvarim.
Oh,
A lot of things to say over, and it's not teaching us to. It's teaching us more.
in the pshat level or the drash level. The question is on the pshat level is fine. Pshat level, we don't have a problem with this either. But on the drash level, to say that you don't need a drasha for it because since it tells you one chiddush in the drasha, you don't have to say the rest of them either. So that's what Rabbi Shmuel says. A parsha which was repeated because of a chiddush, the whole thing can be repeated just for one chiddush. So he's not bothered. The one who says that Geneva, you learn out from pasuk, the Ganav, you place you learn out from pasuk. Well, pasuk Gimel was not necessary. The only reason why he wants to tell you this to finish that he must say that Mod B'Knas V'Yakach V'Oedim is Potter, and the rest of the pasuk is actually Takadonian. The Gemara continues. The Ema. This we'll be up to here. The Ema. This is what? Just to get the number 1, 2, 3, 4, fifth wide line. The Ema, got it. This we know the answer already. But the Gemara speaks it out. The Gemara, we know it for a daf already. The Gemara says, why do you have to have a special pasuk? I'll say the pasuk outside, the Gemara outside, and then we'll see it inside. Why do you have to have everyone's talking about the psukim of a ganav. What do you need a pasuk for a ganav for? If you have psukim of a Tontan as ganav, that he's chayiv kefil, so then Kavach Chomer the ganav himself. He got the, but Tontan is ganav, what does it mean? He got the money beheter. Someone gave him a pikodon, or he found a lost object, and that was heter. And now he made a ganav out of it by saying that it was stolen, and he's really the one who took it. So Tontan is ganav also has to pay kefil if he swore. And so Kavach Chomer the ganav. So what do you have to have special psukim for? So we know the answer. The answer we said the other day ago that Tointan's ganav is only chayiv if he swore falsely, but a ganav himself is chayiv even if he didn't swear, which was my mistake in the opening of the Perek Mubah. Now I'm going to remember it. That the first time I started on Shabbos, not everybody was here. I said that ganav also is only chayiv with a shvur, and it's not true. A ganav is chayiv kefil even without a shvur. I hope I'll remember it. It says this was on the opening statement of Merubah. So I hope I'll remember it. And here the Gemara says, maybe a ganav was also, even actual ganav was also only chayiv if he swore falsely. He actually stole. And then for some reason, someone who was choshedim, the balabais, the nignav was choshedim, he said, you stole, and he says, I swear I didn't steal. Then we find the gate didn't come and say that he stole. Maybe only that's the case, it's chayiv kefil. And the truth is that it's not so. A ganav is chayiv, actual ganav is chayiv kefil, even if there were no shvur. The answer is lo sakataytach. We don't think that at all. It shouldn't enter your mind. The Tanya, Yaakov Omer, Shnai Mishalim, Shalo B'Shvur. Shnai Mishalim, even without a shvur. This is the pasuk about this pasuk is Shnai Mishalim. This one, Shnayim Yishalim. The other ones are Yishalim Shnai. This pasuk Gimel, Shnai Mishalim, that the ganav pays kefil. He's going on the pasuk as Gimel is talking about regular ganav that pays kefil. Everybody else is a regular ganav, but the question was if it's necessary or not. So it says in pasuk Gimel that a ganav pays kefil, and he says even if he didn't swear, shalom b'shvur, even if he didn't swear. Ata omer, is that so? Ata omer shalom b'shvur and elo b'shvur. Maybe not. Maybe it's only chayiv if he swore falsely. Amrit lo kachaya. Say cannot be. That's the expression the Gemara says when it doesn't want to say it whole, speak it out. It just says can't be, and then go figure it out. Not like Gemara takes over. My lo kachaya. What does it rise to me to say that it can't be? If a ganav also is only higher kefil if he swore falsely, then you wouldn't need a pasuk all about a ganav. Just talk about a Tointan as ganav, and we would have learned that on our own. That he's going to that a ganav itself is also going to be higher kefil. The fact that the pasuk has to say a ganav besides saying a Tointan as ganav, there must be a difference. What's the difference going to be? That a Tointan as ganav is only higher with a shvur. He swore falsely. And a ganav is going to be chayiv if he didn't swear falsely. That's the answer. But you should have said a Kavach Chomer. Tointan is ganav the beteru asali yodei. Omer kol l'shalim trei. Tointan is ganav got the money in a permissible manner. He got a pikodon or an aveda, and still, if he's a Tointan is ganav with a shvur, so then he pays kefil. If ganav Edom came and said that he's the one who stole it, so ganav asma de bisur asali yodei l'kol shkein. The ganav who got it in a prohibited manner, he stole it. So surely he's going to be chayiv kefil if he swore falsely. If the whole din of a ganav being chayiv kefil is only with a shvur that he swore falsely, You could have learned it after the Kabul Chomer from Tartan Ganav. Ela must be the reason why Pasuk had to speak out that a Ganav is also Chayiv Kefil is to say it's Chayiv Kefil more. He's Chayiv Kefil even if he didn't make a Shua Sheker. The Gemara is a kasha on the Matzei Simatzei. So far we're happy everybody has different drasha. The only enough committee came out was the case about what otherwise everybody agrees to all the halachas. The question is only where you learn out from. And that was the problem. You learned out the drasha from the Matzei Simatzei. And it could be whatever drasha you learn out from there. You learn out the Ganav, or you learn out the Matzei Simatzei, whatever drasha you learned from the word Matzei, the Gemara is a kasha, but it's used up already. The word Matzei Simatzei is already used up. We don't need it for this drasha we're talking about now. We need it for the following drasha. What does it say? L'chedatanya, top of the page. Yado. Imi matzei, si matzei, biyado. Let's get the pasuk on the screen. This word, biyado. Imi matzei, si matzei, biyado. That Geneva was found in his hand. And what is that pasuk telling you? And the Eliyada, you might think that only if it was found in his hand. Literally, the whole bin of kefil is only if you found it red-handed. You found it in his hand. But Gago, Chatzeo, Bekafifa Menai. What if you found it in his domain, on his roof, in his courtyard, in his yard? How do you know that also is Chayiv Kefil? Tamabama, he must say, Simatzei. It says if it's found. And that the fact that it says he must say, Simatzei, maybe because it's a double term, maybe because it says it before the word Genei, before the other, but it says if it's found in any place. So wherever it's found in his domain, he's Chayiv Kefil. See, you used it up already. So how could you dash another drasha about Gana being Chayiv Kefil? Or what else did we darshan that he must say simatzei that the answer is there's another nuance over here. In Kain Lemakra, oh he must say himatzei, oh simatzei. It's true that it has two words, but it could have said them both in the same word double. It could have said in himatzei. That's also fine sometimes. I'm not sure you have to find where it says it. Where does it say always the pasuk says a double term? So the Gemara says that it also doesn't have to be with a different mishkal. It could have said the same word twice, mamish. You have any case like that? Tzedek, tidaf. Nice. So it could have said himatzei or simatzei. Why does it say himatzei? The fact that it changed the term also shows room for another drasha. Since the pasuk changed the word, so you can have two drashas. So we learn at this halacha that not only yado, even gago, chatzei, v'kafifo, wherever it's found, he pays kefo. And that drasha we learned out either the whole din of gana paying kefo, or what did we say over there? That'll be for a reboy, according to one drash to say everything, besides the YouTube that it says, or that's going to tell you only he must say Beidim, he must say B'dayanim. But there's not room for another drash because it changed the word. Okay, now we go back in between. We finished. We know Kana, we know Tana's Gana, they pay kefil, but just to remember that a Gana pays even without swearing falsely, and a Tana's Gana only pays if he swore falsely. And of course, Mother B'Knas is butter. Mother B'Knas Yachach B'Oedim is a machlokes.
And Mother B'Knas away. I like it.
They don't tell me over here. I mean, the letters of the Rambam.
We don't pay
We don't
knas
pay
anyway.
Knas. So it's not
That's why
but the Rambam still should have spoken about it. The Rambam talks about the halachas dynamic also.
Okay.
So I don't know, but I'll have to look it up next time we come across it. So now the Gemara goes into something that was mentioned by Rav. Tocha Diburim, what do we say? That there was a drash to say, which drash was it? That Kein Shaganav, Achyev. The words of Geneva v'Chayim in Mimosei Simosov Yado Hageneva, Mishat Chamat Chayim. Those two words, Geneva and Chayim. We had a drash that say Achyev l'Geneva. You have to revive the Geneva, and this is now going to be a elaboration about that halacha. That if at the time of the Geneva was worth more than at the time of the Mother Bedin, that they finally came to court, the thing is worth less. So Rav says, you have to revive it and bring it up to the course that it was at the time of the Geneva. And Adam was going to go and elaborate on that. Gufa, we learned before Amar Rav, this is going to be a little bit longer than Rav said it, but it's all according to the same halacha. Karen Shigen Shiganav, Tashlumi Kefa, Tashlumi Bava Kamma, Kishas Mother Bedin. That was Rav's statement. Maybe we can highlight that. Maybe we'll be using it again as we go on. Rav said, Karen Ken Shiganav. And the next one is going to be Tashlum kefil b'chat, tashlum bava chamisha is kishas amar b'din. That's the words that Rav said. That Karen goes according to the price that it was at the time of the Geneva. But the kefil on that dollar behay is not double the price that it was at the time of the Geneva, or 4 or 5 times the time it was at the Geneva. That goes according to the time of the price that it's right now. If somebody stole something which is worth $100, and now the time of the din is worth $80, so the kefil is not going to be. It's going to be
80.
180. Say altogether, they'll pay 180. They'll pay the original price for the Karen. So even though now it's 80, he's going to pay the Karen according to the price that it was at the Geneva. The kefil is not going to be 2 times 100. It's going to be how much it's not worth now. So pay altogether 180. The Karen goes according to the price that it was at the time of the Geneva, and the kefil goes according to the price that it is.
Oh, very interesting.
That is what Rav said. My time of the Rav. Where's Rav getting from? So we said already. You look at neighbor. This my time of the Rav is going back on the first part of Rav. Maybe we should highlight that.
So I thought that when it said Tashlum kefil, it would be 160. It would be just
If what it is now. But how come you're taking that as right now? The regular case is that it didn't change price. The regular standard case, classical, is didn't change price. So it's simple, double. You stole, you have to pay double. But here that the price changed, so now you go according to the original price and the present price. So you might have said both of them, the original price, kefil also. You might have said that even the Karen is also the present price. It says no, that the Karen goes according to the original price, and kefil goes double. Means the double is only going to be the price that it is now. So you'll pay the Karen according to the original price and the kefil of what the price is now. Also, dollar behay. Pay 4 times, whatever it is.
Like the store, you pay the first one regular price, and the second one you get half off.
My time of the Rav. So where does it get from? So I think that this is going on the first halacha. It's not going on the second halacha about Tashlum and kefil. This is going to be my time of the Rav. Where does he get that Karen Kein Shagana? Amar Kroa, Gnei Bava Chayim. Which was the 2 extra words that we said in the pasuk of Hageneva, Mishra, Ser, Chamor, whatever, Chayim. That word Chayim, these 2 words are extra. So we said revive the Geneva. So Chayim means revive the Geneva. It means that you have to go up back to the original price. But it only says that on the Karen. It doesn't say it on the kefil over there. Then it says Shnaim Yishalem. It's kefil. But the din that Achyeyu the Geneva is going on the Geneva itself. Amai Kam Rachman Chayim the Geneva. What kind of term is that to talk about that the Geneva is alive? So the Pashprat in the pasuk is it's alive in contrast to being slaughtered or sold. That it's alive. He found it alive in his hands. So, but the drash says that the word Chayim to say is going to say like reviving. Achi the Karen can't revive the Karen to the price that it was when he stole. Okay, so we have this halacha that the Karen is going to the original price, and if it went down, you have to revive it. Amar Rav Sheshes. Rav Sheshes said, who was after Rav, but not as big as Rav. I say that Rav said this when he was sleeping. So it sounds a little bit like an insult, but Chafetz Chaim says that it's a compliment. That if he wants to argue on Rav and say he made a mistake, so he says he must have been tired on that day. That Rav wouldn't have said such a thing. It must be that it was after a long night, and then when he said it, he was not all conscious. So it's considered a derech kavod. That's the Chafetz Chaim's pshat. I think maybe he got it from somebody. The Chafetz Chaim has a list of things. Rick, he has a list of Gemaras that are very tough. And he says that like I know it's Devarim and things like that, Lashon Hara. So he comes to explain some of them. But there are a lot more that he doesn't explain. There are a lot that still have to be explained. If the Chafetz Chaim's Klalim, so there's a lot of kashas, a lot of Gemaras that are very tough. And you can say I know it's Devarim are run between each other. So I don't know all the answers. I have a list of some of the kashas that.
And yeah, I think they were less sensitive than that.
It could be, but then the Chafetz Chaim doesn't have to answer any of them, and it's not considered. And then you learn how to do things that, according to people's culture and way of talking, so you could give a shtoch, a kitzah, because he knows how to take it. He'll give one to the
Makes sense.
It could be,
Depends.
but,
I know, like
could.
value was much.
Yeah, for sure. The Sfardim in general, the Sfardim have a tougher.
So for that,
but they also get insulted sometimes.
No, I'm saying, but much of the
they have to know that everything has its limit.
Yeah, I'm just saying that Mistama, the Geder and Islam is according to the people.
It could be.
Like a wife, you have to be more careful because she's more sensitive and whatever.
Yeah, that's for sure. So you're saying that it could be that some of the things are very insulting, but if it's all taken in stride and that's the way we talk, So then the behemoth comes out of Chiddush and Nechus Lashon Hara, the Nechus and Nechus. True.
No, and I was only answering a nice
I know it's the one. Okay, Lashon Hara. This thing it doesn't consider.
I mean, it doesn't consider a bizarre.
Some of the things that the Chafetz Chaim is about Lashon Hara. They didn't say it to him. They said it about him.
Unless they knew that it was okay.
Okay, but okay, that's the Chafetz Chaim's issue. Or just put it over here. This is one of the one. These are one of those that he talks about. So Rav Sheshes has a kasha on Rav. He's arguing, and Rav was arguing in a nice way. He's saying he couldn't have said this when he was conscious. Titania, Kusha v'Shmina, Mishtam Tashlumei Kefel, the Tashlumei Bava Kamma, Ke'ein Shegana. Maybe we'll put this also to highlight it to see what we're doing. The only with Rav Sheshes, Kechusha v'Shmina. If the animal was lean and he fattened it up, Mishalem Tashlumei Kefel, the Tashlumei Bava Kamma, Ke'ein Shegana. So really, he's arguing. I mean, he means to. I just want to point out this is a brisa, but he's. I'll put the green also over this. That he's attacking the green statement. He's not attacking the yellow one. Rav said two things. One was about the camel. One was about the kefil. First, the Gemara said the drasha of Kain Shaganav. No, sorry, the drasha of Kain Shaganav that says Hachyehu Chaim Geneva Hachyehu Geneva. That was going on the din of the Karen. This yellow drasha was the drasha of the first statement that he said Karen Kain Shaganav. But now Rav Sheshes is not attacking that. He's attacking the second din of Rav. That the Tashlumei Kefil Tashlumei Bava Kamma goes according to Hashas Amad B'Din. And that he has the kasha because here it says that it's Kain Shaganav. Here he says that kefil is also reckoned according to the provisional price. So if it was $100, it went down to 80. Here it says it was kusha v'shmina, it was $100, and it got lean. I'm sorry, the opposite. I'm sorry. The opposite. The Gemara is going on. Even though Rav happened to be talking about the horror that it went down in price, this price is talking about if it went up in price. Kusha v'shmina, it was lean animal when he stole it, and he made it worth more. He fattened it up. The Gana fattened it up, and then when they come to Bezdin, they caught him, and they come to pay the kefil. They bring the animal to assess how much it's worth, and it's a fat animal, worth more than it was at the time of the Geneva. Here, the price says that you pay according to Shas Kain Shaganav. You pay according to the original price, the lean price. Now, Rav says that the kefil goes according to Shas Amad B'Din, and the Gemara didn't think that it's a difference if it went up or down, and you always go according to the present price when you do the kefil. And here it says that that if it went up, if it became fatter, so you don't go according to the present price, you go according to the cheap original price. So that's a kasha on Rav. Rav Sheshes thinks it's a kasha on Rav. This price says that the kefil also is assessed according to the original price.
Is there a difference between something like, let's say, gold that might fluctuate in value without any input from the person?
Right. So the Gemara is going to talk about Yukra Vazula, which means the price change in the market price change. Here, so far, the Gemara doesn't differentiate, and it talks about, the Gemara seems to say, here's talking about Kusha V'Shmina means that it was lean, and he fattened it up. And the Gemara is saying, the Gemara soon will say your difference, I think. But at this point, the Gemara doesn't see the difference, and asks that Rav says that it's Hashas Amad B'Din. Tashlumei Kefil is reckoned according to the present price, and the Brisa says that Kefil is reckoned according to the original price. Amri, they answer the kasha, Mishum Damalei, Anapatim the Vat Shaklas, because the Ganav tells to the Balabais, I'm the one who fattened it up. I stole. It's true, I stole. It's true, I stole. But I stole a lean animal and I fattened it up. So my money, I'm going to pay kefil on the money that I put into it. I'm the one who fattened it up. So Rav didn't mean that case. So if the price, the one is maybe the opposite case, not like Moses have the opposite case. Not Moses says, okay, I'll bring you a Rav from the opposite case that he made it more lean. Tashma, once again, it's also a kasha. We'll put this also in green, and it's also going to be whatever a kasha on Rav that he says that is Kain Shagana. Rav said Tashlumei Kefil is reckoned according to the present price, and here it says that's reckoned according to the original price. First, you told me that it can't be. The Ganav says it can't be that I'm the one who fattened it. I'm going to pay kefil on that fat. I'm the one who fattened it up. You didn't have that. Now the Gemara says the opposite case. It was a fat animal, and he made it more lean. How do you do that? I guess that he works with it and doesn't feed it, and he pays Tashlumei Kefil according to the original price. The kind of can't say now it's worth. You see that Rav is wrong on both counts, because here it says if it goes down or it goes up, both of them is Kain Shagana. The Gemara says no, it's the same terms. Hasanami Mishum Damina Lei Mali Katla Kulu Mali Katapalko. Over there, the owner tells to the Ganav, you're the one who made it less, so it's like you killed it a little bit. So you're responsible for that also. What do you want to do? You want to get a discount because now it's not worth as much as it was before because you you made it weaker, you made it leaner, you're killing it. Same way you would kill it completely. So you chai for the aleph vei, you chai for the tvicha. So now you killed it partially by making it leaner. So surely you chai for that. Means you are responsible for that. In other words, the Gemara, both Gemara say that the Ganav is responsible for what he did. If he made it his input or his output, that if he put something into the animal, took something out of the animal, all that doesn't go to the cheshbon of kefil. So it's true as far as that, Rav didn't mean. Rav didn't mean to say that kefil is reckoned according to the present price if the Ganav is the one who did it, either for better or for worse. Whichever way he changed the direction, the price of the animal, that is not going to change how much kefil he has to pay. He pays kefil according to the original price. So what did Rav mean? Rav said that the kefil is reckoned according to the present price. What was he talking about? He come around the Yukra Vazula, who the come. Rav just meant that the market price changed. Yukra means that the price became more expensive. Zula means the price became more cheap, but not because it got fatter or leaner, because the price changed. So then Rav says that the kefil is reckoned according to the present price. The keren goes according to the original price, and that's what we're talking about now. We have the rush over there, like we said in the yellow over there, that revive the Geneva to be the price that it was. But so far, to get rid of, to answer Rav Shesh's discussion from the Brisa, that the kefil also goes Ken Shagona, that the Gemara says the Brisa is talking about that he fattened it or he weakened it, he made it more lean. There, Rav agrees that it goes according to the original price because he can't change it and then say, that's what you changed it. So both for better or for worse. But if the price in the market changed, then Rav says that the kefil goes according to the present price.
So what is the palga and the kula?
Yes, please.
What's the mali katala kula mali?
What do I care if it killed it completely? Katla means to kill it. Katlani. What? That's what they use in Arabic. It's an Aramaic word, but they use it now in Hebrew also. That what do I care if it killed it completely? What do I care if it killed it partially? Katla palga. That weakening it, making it leaner and cheaper, is another way of partially killing it. Rashi says on that.
And that would mean that you would go by the time of the din, or what?
That means the reason why you go according to the original price. Don't go according to now, because you did it. We tell the Ganav, you did it. The same way the Ganav says when he made it more expensive, he says, I did it. So why are you changing the price of the kefil? So too, when the price goes down because of him, we say, you did it. That's not going to change the price. It's true. Whatever we attribute to the actions of the Ganav, we don't change. That doesn't change the law, not for better, not for worse. If he made it more expensive because he fattened it, or because he made it leaner by working with it, not feeding it normally, so then that's attributed to his deeds, and that doesn't affect the price of the kefil. The price of the kefil goes according to what it was at the time of the Geneva. But Rab meant to say that if
so it's a kashan rav.
Why?
And that's a kashan rav.
There's no kashan Rab anymore. You want to say it again? The Gemara thought it had a kashan Rab. Rab says that kefil goes according to the present, and the Brisa says it goes according to the Shas Geneva. The answer is that the Brisa are talking about when he made it fatter or he made it leaner. But if the price in the market changed, that's when Rab say that you go according to the present time.
I see. Okay.
And now the Gemara is still not happy. The Gemara is still going to analyze this. Hey Chidami, what's the case they're talking about? That the price changed, the price fluctuated. Hey Chidami, it says Yukra Bazula, the words mean more expensive, cheaper. It sounds like both ways, but the Gemara is going to analyze which one do you mean? The market price went up or the market price went down? Hey Chidami, what do you mean to say? Which case is it? Do you mean to say that the price went up? The Ganav stole, and it was worth only 1 zuz at the time of the Geneva, and then by the time they came to the court, the time they came to Mother Vadin, it's worth 4. And I was going to say that the Karen goes according to the original price, and the kefil goes according to the present price. And I think more has no cash on the kefil part. And I think they're most happy with the kefil that the kefil goes according to the present price. But the Chiddush Gemara is going to say is that you're saying that the Karen goes according to the original price. He stole a cheap object, now it became more expensive to come to Bezdin. Now it's worth 4 times the amount. And Rav says that he only pays Karen according to the original price. Is that true? Karen can't shagana. Are you going to say Rav says in that case he pays according to the original price? Lema pliga the Rabba. If so, Rabba is arguing on Rabba. Rabba says differently. Rabba, I'm on the Gosla Chavisa, the Chamra, the Chavre. Rabba said, somebody stole a barrel of wine from his fellow man. At the time of the Geneva is worth $1, whatever. And at the end, at the time of the Mother Bedin, it's worth $4. What is the price he has to pay? If he broke it, the gunner who stole it also broke it, or he drank it. So then, then he pays according to the price that is now, because the breaking or the drinking, that's when he's consuming it. So then is considered that he's damaging it. So even though at the time that he bought it, that he stole it, it was worth $1. Since the time that he broke it or drank it, it's worth $4. We don't say that he's drank or broke his, and it's already his, and therefore he's going to be high for the present price of $4. If it broke by itself, of course, if it's here the way it is, you have to get back to the guy. You have to get back the way it is. But if it got broken, so either he broke it or it got broken by itself. If he broke it, then it goes according to the present price, the present expensive price. If it broke by itself, he only pays the original price. What's the Gemara's kasha? Yes.
It goes by the time he drinks it, or by the time he gets caught.
You're right. It sounds here like the time, not about it, but then it sounds like the time that he drank it.
Yeah.
You're right. That's what it says. And the Gemara's kasha is it's not a full kasha on Rav. Rav that says it goes according to the original price. The Gemara is only bothered because there's a case of Tabra Shasi, and one of the cases of Rav shows that it also was he broke it. Not that it happened by itself, and the price has changed. There's a case where it's true the price might have changed by itself, but then he broke it. What's the case? Because Rav spoke about also Tavach U'Macha. It's about the Gemara, like the Gemara. What would you say? Like it caught it on a side point. The Tavach U'Macha, the Gemara, really, the case is because the case of Dalad Vei is a case of Kefil, case of Dalad Vei. We wouldn't pay attention, but the Gemara says when you pay Dalad Vei, Tavach U'Macha. One of the cases of Mocha, one of the cases is Tavach. Tavach means that he slaughtered it. So what happened? He stole an animal and he slaughtered it. Slaughtered it is like breaking it. And here it says that if he break it, it seems that he did another action. Not only did he steal it, he also broke it, he slaughtered it, he killed it. And here it says that Rabbi says that the price goes according to that time. So it's true. But Rabbi said that it's not a mother bedin, but it's also not Shasa Gneva. And that's the kasha that if Rabbi says it goes according to Shasa Gneva, is against Rabbi. If Rabbi meant to say that the price changed, it goes according to the present, to the old original price, as far as the Keren. Rav said two things. Rav said the yellow and the green. Rav said that the Keren came Shiganav and the Shumer Kefil is a mother bedin. And if you say that the case of the Kefil, we prove that the case is not about Chusha Veshmina. He said it's talking about the price change. But and that's what Rav meant, when the price changed by itself. But it also has a case of Dalad Vei. Dalad Vei is when he slaughtered it. If he slaughtered it, Rabbi says that it goes according to the new price. Not the Mother Bedin, but at least the time that he slaughtered it. And Rav says Rav says that the Keren is Kain Shaganav in that case also. In the same case, with Tavach U'Macha is going to be Mother Bedin, the Keren of that is going to be with the original Keren. And the kasha should be that it shouldn't. If he slaughtered it, it should go according to the price that he slaughtered it. That's the Mars kasha. First white line, Amri, they answered this kasha. You're right. If it would have gone up, the price went up, and then he slaughtered it, they have to pay according to the price that he slaughtered it. But here the case, well, Rabbi means to say that it went down, the price went down. The truth is that that's what we thought the whole time, because the old Russia, the Rav says Keren Ken Shaganav is because Gneva Chaim, revive it. Reviving it means you think that you revive it, you go to the original price high, not that you go down. And here, that's what the word comes down now, comes to, that the price went down. Therefore, you have to get it back to its original price. Keren Kain Shaganav, Tashlume Bava Kamma, Kishas Amar Bedin. That's what I meant to say. If the price, not that God did anything, the price, not that God made it more, made it fatter or made it leaner, the price changed in the market, and the price went down, and that he said that the Keren has to go back to the original price, make it revive it to the original price, and you have to pay the Keren that it was. And the Kefil, they don't have that Chumrah, and the Kefil is going to be double of of the present price that it went down. And now the Gemara has no kasha from Rabbi. Rabbi was talking about Tabra Shasi in the case where he was mazik it more. It was only worth one zuz, and then by the time he was Tabra Shasi, it was already worth 4. Then he has to pay the expensive price. But if it will be the opposite, that it went down, over there, Rav is good. That if he pays the Geneva according to the original price, the expensive price, and that's the drasha of Achir B'Gneva, and Kefil doesn't have that special drasha, and therefore he only pays Kefil according to the present cheap price. Tani, so we started with Rab's din, we had some conscious, we figured it out, that was good. And now, 3 lines to the bottom, Tani Rabbi Chanina, let's see where the Rab. Rabbi Chanina thinks he has a brisa that's going to be a support to Rab. Here goes the brisa. Balabai Shatan Tan is going to be Pikoda. The Nishba Bahoda. Kubo Edim. Somebody, the Balabais means the Shomer. Right? The Pasuk calls him in the crowd Balabais Elo Elohim. That's what the Pasuk calls him, the Balabais. He's the Shomer. So the Shomer said it was stolen. He got a Pikoda and he said it was stolen. And he swore that it was stolen. And then he was molded that he lied. So that's the regular case of Moda B'Knas. Oh, the end says Bo Edom. Edom also came. This was a question we're getting into about Chodah and Edom. So here it says, Imach Lo Bo Edom Hoda, Mishal Kern L'Chomish Vasham. If the Edom came first, if he was Moda first, before the Edom came. Moda B'Knas V'Yachar Bo Edom is Potter. I much wanted to know the halacha. I think it might say over here that Rav like Rav that Moda B'Knas V'Yachar Bo Edom is Potter. So it says if he was Moda before the Edom come, Imach Lo Bo Edom Hoda. If he was admitted before the Edom came, so there's not going to be a kefil. So this is the answer to your question, there's no kefil. So you got the right intuition. So he pays the Karen v'chomish, Karen, no kefil. And chomish v'asham because he did the avera of swearing falsely that he has to pay he has to get a kapara. So he brings a korban asham and a chomish as the part of the kapara. But if the Edom came first, if he's mode after the Edom came, then we're not impressed with his Oda. And then he has to pay kefil. Misham tashlum kefil, the asham, the chom sha'ol lo b'kfelo. So here's a very interesting case. Usually, kefil and asham v'chomish don't go together. Because when do you pay kefil if you're not mode? Because mode b'knas is potter. So if he's paying kefil, it means Edom came. And if Edom came, he doesn't bring the Chomesh Vasham, he only pays the Chomesh Vasham if he was Moda. If Edom come, we'll see in a second. Maybe don't take it too seriously. Because I mean to just make a presentation. Because if Edom come and say that he stole and he lied, but he still doesn't admit, he says not true. But Edom, so Bezdin listens to the Edom. Right. But he's not going to bring a Asham and a Chomesh because he says that it's not true. He doesn't admit. But here's a fancy case. We have both. That he's going to pay kefil because the Edom came first. But then he admitted. After the Edom came, so then he gave in. He said, you're right. And I lied. And now he's going to bring a Chomesh Vasham because he's doing it on his own admittance. Of course.
It's an expensive deal.
He wants to get a kapara.
Yeah.
So here's the case. We have both kefil and a Chomesh. Usually if he'd only been Edom, then it's only going to be kefil without the Chomesh Vasham. And if there's only an admittance, then it's going to be a chomesh vasham without the kefil. Right. But here, that they were both, because of Edom and also he admitted afterwards also. So that admittance is not going to get him off the kefil, right. But he is going to get a schus to be able to, since he's admitting it, it is a reason to have a chomesh and asham, he can get a kapara. Now the question is, when you calculate the chomesh and the asham, who does the money chomesh go to? The chomesh also goes to the nignav. He's the one who gets the chomesh. Even though it's for the kapara of the shvua, but it goes to him. It doesn't go to the stuff. It doesn't go to hektish. It goes to the nignav. So now the question is, when you calculate the chomesh, does he can deduct that from the kefil? The kefil is more than the chomesh, of course. The kefil is more than the chomesh. This is double. This is the fifth. And here it says chomsho ololo b'kfelo, that the chomesh goes into the calculation of the kefil, which means I think it means that when you pay the kefil, you don't have to do a kefil plus the chomesh. You just do the kefil, and it already includes the chomesh. I'm not sure if I'm right, but I think those are the words mean. The Muslims say different. It happens to be the same price.
It has to be the same price.
It has to be the same price.
Only do that.
I didn't get so far yet. Okay, but at this point, I would say, any Rashi at this point? Last Rashi, Mishlam kefil v'asham the chomesh lo b'soch hakefil. V'asham chomesh le'ba'ilem. The chomesh also goes to the nignav. Who shakal? He's the one who takes it. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
But this Rashi does say it's talking about that it's the same price. Okay, that's going to be the Gemara's judgment. There's a case here where the Chomish and the Kefil is the same price. How could that be? How could a fifth and a half be the same price? The Kamari, do you have a Kefil at Fei Mechumsha, Lav Chumsha Havi, Velo Miftale, Adam Mishalim Chomish, the Chomish Kapara, the Shvu.
You have to make a
You have
fifth
to,
of
yeah,
fifth.
you can't just
You have
say,
to make a
not like I
fifth
said.
of
I said that the kefil is automatically including the chomish because half is more than a fifth. So Rashi says that can't be because then he didn't pay a chomish, he has to pay the kefil. Where do you see the chomish? So it has to be a fancy case that the chomish is going to be the same amount as the kefil and not more. And then it is good enough. Then it is good enough. Even
Yeah,
though,
because now you made a payment. Here's your payment. Here's your kefil.
and here's your chomish.
This is your payment to the phone.
Because it happens to be half because of the price. I thought if I would have seen this, I would have said
It's
that
included.
that you can't make it included. You have to pay a kefil and a chomish. But that thing was not bothered by. Just bothered that it has to be a fifth. The amount has to be a fifth. And how could it be a half and a fifth at the same time? That's going to trigger the Gemara to get a case. Something I didn't get the details yet, but it's going to be a case of one is going to be reckoned with the original price, and the price changed. So it could be that it's going to be a half and a fifth at the same time.
4-1. 4-1.
What
It
happened?
was 4 and
4-1. It was 4 now. It's
so,
1.
so 4 is the chomish. 1 is the chomish. 1 is the chomish of 4.
It's chomish milavar.
Yeah.
And
1 is and the kefil is 1.
the kefil is 1 because it went down to 1. Uh-huh. So that's going to be the Gemara's the siyua. That's how Rav is trying to support Rav that there's a difference between the calculation of the kefil and the keren. The keren goes according to the original price, and the kefil the keren goes according to the original price, and so does the chomish of the keren. And the kefil is going to have this going according to the present price. The price continues. I'm sorry. Divrei Yaakov. Yaakov says that the chomish is included in the kefil. It doesn't have to pay both. The chomish and the kefil is the same. And the chachamim say no. He pays each one separately. Amud Beis. The chachamim omrim a drash. It says Birosho v'chamishiso. So to go on to see the pasuk over here. So really, this is it's a comment between. It says in the Sa'om Mikol Lashay Yishav Alav Lasheker V'Shilam So Birosho Kamma V'chamishiso Yosef Alav. It says he should pay the keren. The word Rosha means the keren for some reason. I'm not sure why. The word Rosha in the Pashup Shad, Rashi and Chumash says it means the keren. He should pay the keren. The Chamishisav Yosef Alav, and he should also add on a fifth. To the one who belonged to the person that he stole from, that he lied to. So he gives him the keren and the chomish, and therefore they want to say that's a drash. They're going to go together. That's going to be a drash that goes together. And here's the Gemara. That's the pasuk. That you only pay a chomish when you're paying the keren, but if you're going to pay kefil, you don't pay the chomish. They say there's no chomish at all. This case, we said, what was the case? A fancy case here that there was Adam and also Auda. So we said, on one hand you have to pay kefil, on the other hand you also have to pay a chomish. They say no, that the din of chomish is only when there's no kefil. If there's going to be kefil, it will be the case that there's no kefil because he was moda without any Adam. So there's kefil is off and he's a keren, so you pay the keren on the chomish. But if there was a kefil because there were Adam, even though he's moda now, it doesn't make him to pay a chomish. So that's the side point that they hold there's no chomish in this case. The Gemara is going to bring the right from the first case of Rabbi Yaakov that says that the kefil and the chomish are the same. It seems to be the same. But he talks about the asham also, not only the chomish. There's no asham either. If there's Adam, and that's why he's paying kefil, there's not going to be a chomish or an asham because of the shvur that he made the sheker. What do we want? We want the beginning. Katani Mias, in any case, it says that the chomish is paid for by paying the kefil. How do you get the chomish to be a kefil? If it's the same price, the price didn't change. Before it was 4, and the time of the it's all 4. So chomish if the price is still 4, so how much? If the price is 4 and the kefil is what? That. So it's 4, and the chomish would be only a fifth of 4, and the chomish milavar, the chesh is going to be this 1. So it's not the same price. How could you say that he's yotzei the chomish by paying the kefil? Ella lav the meikar shavya ba'ol so shavya zuza. The kefela zuza v'chomshei zuza. It must be that Rabbi Yaakov meant to say that if the price went down and from 4 to 1, And in that case, the kefil is going to be 1 because that's what Rav says. Rav says the kefil goes according to the present price, but Homish goes according to the original price, and that was 4. So a fifth of the 4 is going to be 1. Again, a Homish Malabar. So that's a right to Rav. Alma Ken Ken Shagan, Toshum Kefil Chamisha. The kefil Toshum Keshas Amad Bedin. In order to say that Yaakov makes sense, we must say that the kefil is reckoned according to the present, and the keren is reckoned according to the original price. I really didn't go further, so I can stop here, middle of the. That's good. We'll stop here, and then Rav is going to be matchel right. But so far, Rav said this halacha, and Rav wanted to bring his support, and tomorrow the Gemara is going to be matchel support. Not too much. All you're going to go to Amar, we'll do it, and this will help us. Amar Rava, the price didn't change. So the question was, how could you have that the half and the fifth is the same price? With the Kakashik Fela Dal V'Chomshe Zuza, that the kefil is going to be 4, the chomish is 1. How could he be also the chomish by paying the kefil? That he swore 4 times that what he stole, and then he was accused. He stole, and he was a shomer or whatever, right? And he kept it for himself, but he said that it was stolen, and he swore 4 times.
On the same
thing. I didn't that it was stolen. It was stolen. It was stolen. It was stolen.
Wow.
I don't know any details. I was reading it for the first time. And at the end he was molded. That whole thing was a big lie.
One hodah and all 4 shulas.
But the pasuk has a ribu to say that he's chayiv many. Oh, yeah, the keren nachas. That it says his fifths, not v'chamishi so. It says v'chamishi so, like we saw on the side of it. Well, that's the pasuk we saw. V'chamishi so, his fifths. He should add on. It doesn't say v'chamishi so, his fifth. His fifths in the plural. That means to say there can be a lot of fifths. How could there be a lot of fifths? Because he stole falsely. He swore falsely many times.
So on each of those swearings, he has to give us another fifth.
Right. So
mention.
and they're not corporate. So altogether, he swore 4 times. So he's going to pay 4 zuzim. So what are we going to say? Really, Rav's wrong. Really, the kefil. Really, the kefil. How are we going to go? Really, the kefil is going to be what? According to the original price. Well, the original price is going to be 4. How do you get that the keren that the fifth also be 4? Because he has 4 shvuas to make up for. So that'll be a case. That particular case, where Yaakov said that it could be Yosei the fifth by paying the kefil, but it's not a raya to Rav that said that the calculation of the keren and the kefil are 2 different calculations. One is Ken Shagana, but one is now. Both of them could be Ken Shagana, even the kefil. Even the kefil, and the case that the chomish is going to be equal is going to be that he swore 4 times. Quite dochuk it sounds. That's the case we have to say, but that'll be the case that we have to so it's not a right to run. Yes, go. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, on this now, but not at
Everybody go home.
Can I give you a coffee?
Yeah.
Well, it doesn't pay July. That's the bottom line.